Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Oddest, formerly known as podcast. I'm your host, the obvious troglodyte, and with me today is Chris. And Chris has a fun story to tell us about being locked up in the clink. So, Chris,
Yeah.
what is one of the first things when you were in the clink that stood out for you? Like the first thing you had to do when you walked in?
Oh man. Well, first I had to be escorted in there, and they don't let you take anything. And when I mean anything, like you don't even get your own underwear. They put you in like this like paper thin ass jumpsuit, like a onesie, and you get like paraded in front of the prison, and then you like see what they call the, which is it's literally a two-story building that houses like over like 100 and some inmates at once on each side, and then you get thrown in the shower with another man, which was not enjoyable. And they give you this lye soap, and you shower in, and they give you an oversized jumpsuit, a sack lunch, and then you go and meet the person that you're going to be in the cell with for however long. Of course, my first celly didn't last too long, uh, and then I got another one. So I think I was in the cell with my celly for like maybe 24 hours. That we didn't last a day. So he, we were,
So when you butt heads with your cellmate, do they actually give you like a different cellmate? They try to find ways to like equalize the tension.
um, it kind of depends on like the situation. Me, I shit out of my cellies, so they weren't gonna keep him in there. um, but my next celly, he was really cool. His name was B. He was a big old swole dude from East St. Louis, and he he was real cool. He kind of first taught me how to bid, like do your time and stuff. Not be so loud and be quiet. Sit back, read some books, stuff like that. So, uh, like kind of like in life, you're either a lesson or a blessing. And I had a lot more lessons than I ever did blessings. I think I had when I left. I think I had like 23 cellies, something like that. So it was definitely interesting. I definitely got along with a few of them, but didn't last with most of them. I got moved around a lot.
So, what was the hardest part about being in there initially, especially initially? Like the hardest part about adjusting to the day to day life of it.
Um, I think it would have had to been like not being able to like see or talk to my kids whenever I wanted. That was probably the worst part because the first year, each one of my kids one time, and then from 2019 until 2023, I didn't get to see any of them. So
Mm.
I grew up through pictures, which was uh, which was pretty different. I got to talk to them on the phone, but yeah, that was a rough time. I went to a really dark place.
Yeah. So, how much time total did you serve?
I did 5 straight.
5 straight.
You know,
How much were you originally looking at?
uh, my original offer was 60 years at 85%, so like 55 and a half years or something like that. But I waited it out, and they came back and hit 25 years, and then they made their final offer of 14 at 50, and that's what I took. And then I went back on and got 13 at 50. So,
That was some rough haggling.
well, I was trying to get them down below double digits, but they weren't. they weren't coming off of it. So
Well, a lot of those assholes have a lot of like name. They have to make a name for themselves. Like I'm a prosecutor who needs to make a name for myself, and so they really push those extra fucking years on motherfuckers. Like
yeah,
for non-violent crimes, which we're not going to get into how you got in there, but it was a non-violent crime and no victim crime.
yeah, I had a totally victimless crime, and yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
definitely not violent. But they said they wanted to make an example of me, so they appreciate it. But a lot of people got um, on my case, and I pretty much took the brunt of it. So I got told on. I had I had 7 guys, if I remember correctly, on my case. So
Mm.
yeah, they nailed me, just as they say.
Yeah, nailed you to the cross. They definitely want to make an example of a lot of people. And it's usually fucking the non-violent criminals. Like, why not make an example out of the pedophiles and the fucking creeps? And now let's go ahead and just throw this on this guy.
Yeah, I ran into several people that had been convicted of what you just said, multiple counts, and they had received less time than I
No, of course.
had.
That fits the agenda. But since you've been out, though, what have been some of the things that you've been enjoying the most?
um,
And you can't say pussy.
well, besides that, um, like I think the thing that sticks out most in my mind when I got out was I hadn't seen my oldest son since he was 8, and I had never, or excuse me, I had only met my youngest son one time, and I'm actually right now we're recording in the house that I actually grew up in,
Hmm.
and I put this little note on the door, and my ex-wife actually brought my 3 kids that I had with her to the house, and when they walked through the door and I saw them, I bawled. Yeah, it was
I don't blame you, man.
like a bittersweet moment. It was like I seen them in pictures, but I never like got to like physically see them, so I didn't realize how big they had gotten. But I'd probably have to say like the thing that I enjoy the most is being able to walk out my front door without having to ask uh, somebody to unlock my door or wondering what time it is to get let out for chow or something like that. I ended up in a max at the end of it, and it was 23 in one lockdown. So besides going to chow, you really didn't get out of there too much. So I think
So, what was some of the roughest situations you may have been in? And let's not talk about any gang affiliate or anything, but let's talk about like some situations you may have been in that like were pretty rough. Like you were worried, because there's a lot of those in there.
um I got I got tattooed quite often in there,
Yeah.
and when you're getting tattooed in the joint, uh, you got a guy that walks up and down the hall to see if a guard's coming, and then you got a sheet up on the door, covering the window, and then you got this dude using a tattoo gun that's loud as hell, and it hurts it hurts so worse. And you're trying to stay in there with gritted teeth, and then if you get like a big ass piece done, you might get a quarter of it, at one point, and then you might have to wait a day or so, and then you'd have to come back in there. And I don't know if anybody has had tattoos, but let me tell you, you want to do it all at once because going over that is the worst thing in the world.
Do you have any of your prison tats you'd like to show the audience today?
Oh man, I'm all covered. Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite one to show so we can break it down?
Uh, man, I don't even know. I got like my whole chest and stomach done. Basically, like
Well, let's see it, baby.
I got like all this in prison.
Oh, damn. It looks like it was done in prison.
Yeah, thanks. Like uh, I got this, and I got this. I don't know if you can really see that.
I can see, yeah.
And then got this one, and
It's wild, man.
yeah, this one, and then I got one behind my ear. I don't know if anybody can see
Oh,
that one.
yeah. We can see it.
Yeah, and then oh, I don't think.
So, are the prison tats like a?
Oh,
Are they
no,
are they rough? Is it like a lot more painful? Are they guys? Or
yeah.
they just use regular tattoo guns? What do they use to make the tats?
You see this one?
Oh yeah.
Just trust no bitch.
Well, dogs can bite.
So, when you're in prison, you have to be very inventive. So, what we used to do, I actually have one somewhere around here. I just don't know where it is. I actually brought mine home. But what you do is you get clear trimmers in there, and you take the motor out of them, and you rig them to a battery pack, or you can use a tablet charger. Get these clear tablets in there, and then you take cable cord TV because you get cords in there. And if you will get somebody with sandpaper and fan, and they'll tie it on there, and then they'll sharpen the needle on that. But if you're like me, got this EST 91. It was supposed to say 1991, and I'll get into why it doesn't. But
Established 1991.
yeah, well, I would have said 1991, but the guy decided to take a pair of fingernail clippers and clip it at an angle, and then drill the shit out of me. You would have thought that I was getting plowed in there, screaming so bad.
You weren't? No.
Definitely inside me, but not in the way that you're thinking.
Not enough. No.
But yeah. But let me tell you, when you get caught for that, they're gonna smoke your ass like a pack of cools.
Well, if you have any advice for a person who is possibly getting ready to go into the clink or do something stupid to get themselves put in the clink, what would be your piece of advice first for the person who's about to make the dumb decision?
Man, that's kind of a hard one, because I started doing what I was doing to support my family because I lost my job
Yeah.
and kind of lost my way with it, and um, I would just say, man, you just go get a regular job. You know,
There are other ways.
like you don't really need what you got until it's gone, and you can't see your kids in the morning, and you can't walk out your door and smoke a cigarette, or you can't, take a piss without another man there, and there's no AC where I was at. Like, it was rough. Let me tell you,
So, what's your advice for a person who is about to go in the clink?
man, mind your business, sit your ass down, watch some TV, and we got a saying. It's called "Hurry up," because you ain't getting out.
Hurry up and wait. It's a lot like the military.
Yeah, it was a lot of hope, a lot of false hope, and a lot of lonely nights, man, wishing that you could just be home, and wish that you could just hold your kid, or love on your girl, or go to the gas, and get a soda, instead of waiting once or twice a week. Or we used to go to store once every 2, sometimes even 3 weeks for $150 in cash. it was shitty, and being the kind of guy that if I had a good celly, and he was broke, I'd always share the love. But everybody's got to hustle in there. So you know, even though you're only getting $150 from the store, like me, I used to hustle in there, and I always had food whether I went to the store or not. So I stacked some of my paper up while I was in there. Got out, I wasn't so broke.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, like everybody's got a talent that they can probably exploit there. Some people draw, some people cook, some people sell drugs, some people cook food, some
Some
people.
people are Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Now, Andy Dufresne wasn't that much of a fella.
Oh, a lot of. But yeah. As long as you know how to move in there, you're pretty good. For the most part. But you do got those dumb fucks that like to fuck with you just to fuck with you, or fuck with you because you're a
They're
different.
just bad people, and they probably belong in there in the first place.
Some of the best, nicest people I ever met that were my cellies were murderers.
Hmm.
I got a really good buddy named Silent. Shout out to him. Hopefully he gets out soon. He's been down 15. Got 7 to go. He's a good ass dude, and
He'll get there eventually.
he's very intelligent and very smart. And if it wasn't for him, I would have been in a lot more trouble. He really he really helped me out in there.
There's a shout out to him right now.
Yeah, his name's Jesus Duran, man. He's
Jesus.
yeah, Jesus.
Jesus Duran.
Yep, he's a really good buddy of mine, man. A brother, if anything. And
Good for him. Good for God bless him. Good for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have the best upbringing either. He grew up on the north side of Chicago, and he
That's a rough area.
yeah, and he grew up in a certain lifestyle, and um, sometimes you got to pay that price. But uh, I know he'll be getting out soon, and he'll be with his family, and he belongs. And hope nothing but the best for him. He's
Heck
still
yeah. Heck
uh,
yeah, buddy.
yeah, real solid. I met a lot of good people there. I met people that were down for 400 and some years when I was in the max. I it it really, when somebody says they're a short timer and you ask them how much time they got and they say they got 20 years left.
Go.
But
So what's a long timer? I got 450 years. Like, fuck.
you know, I guess it's all about perspective. It is what you make it in there. Either you can either take it as a learning experience and mature and grow, or you can take it as a badge of honor and come out and try to get right back in. It's
From what I've seen so far, is you went in there again for a non-violent crime and victimless crime, but you've came out like as a better person, and you're rebuilding your family and getting back to just living life.
yeah. I I've been out 18 months, I think.
Mm.
I'm still kind of institutionalized, and it's it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, like out in society, but it's a real thing. Adjusting back into, you know, we call it the world. you know, uh, you know, imagine being locked in a room 5 years and being let out, twice, 3 times a day, maybe, and then put back into that, and that's your routine. Everything is about a routine. When you're gonna wake up. I could still tell you what happened every day for me 5:15. I woke up every morning. I went to breakfast. I was back by 5:25, and then I would go back to bed till about 7:30, and then I got up, got dressed, drank a cup of coffee, bathroom, made my bed, watched TV until 8 o'clock. This was towards the end of my bit, so like the last like months, um, drug rehab program, and I I would go and we would have group from 8 till 10, and then after that we go back to our cells until about 11:15. Then we would go lunch, come back, and then you are locked in your cell until about 5:30, depending on how they ran the chow lines. And then at 5:30, you would get dressed, you'd walk out, wait, go to eat. 5:45, you're back in the cell. You sit in your cell until about 7, because like day rooms for some from 7 to 8, and then 8 to 9. That's it. So half of the house got out at 7 till 8, and then the other half got out from 8 to 9. And then every other day, you got the phone, and then every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning, you got out to yard. But then they kind of stopped doing that the last 3 months that I was there. I think we went to yard about 7 times in 3 months. So
Well,
anytime that
now
I
that you're,
go ahead.
let me go ahead and say, like, now that you're out, I'm so fucking happy that you're out. Pardon my French, but I'm so glad that you're out. I'm so glad that I can see you rebuilding your family again. You're doing things that are, the American dream kind of thing. Just going out and living life, and now you can be much more appreciative of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful for what I have. I just sometimes, well, actually, here recently, I kind of lock myself away because that's what I'm comfortable with. I don't socialize a lot.
Mm.
Actually, the only time that I ever go to actually really outside is if I have to mow, or if I have to go to the store, or take or go to work, or if I have to take my lady to work, my wife. So, but I would like to say, my wife has definitely been my backbone and my strength. She I don't know how she does it, but she puts up with me.
Well, God bless her. She's a beautiful woman, and an amazing human being.
Yeah, yeah. She's definitely better than what I deserve. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all women for most of us. But um, so next, I would like to push on to the idea. Like, we used to video game together a lot, and since you've come out, how have video games changed since you come back out?
um, well, for like the first like 2 months, I really didn't game. Like I kind of hit the ground running when I came out. Within a week, I had my own house and a vehicle. Um, then I got a PS5, but like I hadn't been out in society so long. I was home a lot, but I didn't game. I was outside because that I didn't get in there. And this is gonna sound horrible, but out with a lady, we started playing a game, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. I bought a PC, and now I spend a lot of time on that. I
You're on the master race now. The PC, the master race.
Yeah, it, I think that PC caused more more arguments than it
You
has.
see, we're gonna cause more of an argument here because motherfucker, I'm a console guy. Fuck you. I
Yeah,
mean, I
well,
know PCs are better, but fuck you, anyways.
I was really a PC at first, um, and I had a guy that I was kind of friends with, I guess, and him and his buddy talked me into getting one, and I didn't even download nothing. But as soon as I turned that fucking thing on, my whole life changed. And I don't even watch internet porn. I bet it would look good on a curved monitor, though.
Possibly. I usually just play Xbox on a 75-inch screen.
Actually, I have everything of mine wall mounted. I have my desk wall mounted and my PC. And the irony is, so I have a 32-inch curved monitor, but I like to have other things running while I play. So in prison, I actually had bought a TV, a clear one, and I really wanted a second monitor. Well, those happen to be monitors. So my wife had this little shelf, and we put it on the wall, and now I have my PC next to this, $20, $20, this $20 TV next to a $2,000.
Well, don't you you still have the stuff from prison? Like, do you still did they let you take home the stuff you bought?
um, yeah, most of it, yeah.
So you still have the see-through bullshit.
Yeah, I have the tablet still. I, have, I had my tattoo gun that I snuck out, but I can't remember. I think it's in my laundry room.
Mm.
If we ever do another podcast, maybe sometime I could show you what you guys get for $250.
Well, I think the next podcast we have to do is we have to be playing some Call of Duty or something. Go back to the old school days, buddy.
I don't remember the last time I played Call of Duty. I would though.
Yeah, fucking, let's go. Like now they have it's cross-platform, so it doesn't matter what platform you're playing on. We can all still play together.
Actually, that's funny that you say that because New Best and me, like I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, they have a Discord server that they have the old Black Ops 1 and 2 that you can actually play in the maps and stuff. And that's what we were doing, and people
Yeah,
were.
Zach and I went back on there and played a few of them.
Yeah, my lady loves zombies, and I think that'll probably be our next purchase. Is probably some kind of Call of Duty cross-platform. They say the new Call of Duty 6, the Black Ops 6, is going to have round-based zombies. So I might try to convince
Yeah,
her.
I tried it for a second, but I deleted it off my system immediately because it's fucking 300 gigabytes.
Yeah, that's about what Modern Warfare 3 was. But
Yeah, why? I don't need that shit.
I only play one game currently right now, and my wife hates it. So I spend a lot of time on there. But I had lost my job recently, and I was out of work for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you bastard.
And yeah, I actually just started working 4 days ago. Yeah, I got a job 4 days ago, and I've been working and doing that. And I just couldn't sit at home. It was driving me nuts. It was driving my wife nuts. I think it was driving my kids nuts at some point. Like it was just, it was it. That was really rough for me. But I've always found solace in video. So I think that's just kind of what I do. Some people drink. Some people smoke. Some people do other things, and
Why do I drink? Why do I smoke? The old country song, man. It's just a family tradition.
but
YouTube's gonna hit me for a fucking copyright infringement for just saying that.
but yeah, yeah, but games have definitely changed a lot since I went in. Things have definitely got more technologically advanced, and I still don't understand it. I have to look up YouTube videos or like stuff like that to figure out how to download apps and stuff. When I first got out, I have an iPhone 13, And it's not a cheap phone, or when I had it, it was, when I got it, it wasn't. And I remember that I used to call my stepdad when I had questions because I didn't realize that you could look up so much stuff on a phone. And this dude's 64. I'm 32, and I'm asking this man,
Ah,
"Hey,
you old bastard.
do you know anything about this?" I'm pretty much asking Google through him, and finally got to the point where he's like, "You have basically a computer in your hand, right?" And then recently, I just started having to like mod games. It's a lot different than it is on consoles as opposed to PC. Actually, right before you called, I just had to wipe my whole system and reinstall everything, which took forever. It totally just mentally drained me, all for mods.
Hmm.
But when you hyper focus on dumb shit, that's what happened. But I mean, I feel like now like games are kind of getting repeated a lot.
Yeah,
It's
well, they have been for many
gotten
years now.
pretty much copy and paste.
Yeah, it's been Call of Duty since the what fourth Call of Duty movie or game.
Yeah, basically. Actually, if
It's the
there's
same
any,
shit.
I could recommend anybody out there that likes like RPG, uh, zombies. It would be Days Gone. That is probably one of my most favorite games that
That
I've
was a
played.
fun one. That one I 100%ed on the trophies because it was just a good game.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
The story is good.
The hordes were one of the things that made it great.
The sawmill horror, man. I remember, man. My wife would be drinking, I'd be smoking a big old fat doob, and she'd be sitting right next to me, grabbing me. She'd be like, "Don't get killed! Don't get
Yeah,
killed!
it's
The
getting
fuck
it's
off
getting
me! I
intense.
can't
It's
fucking do it."
getting intense. It's insane.
And then and we had an absolute blast on that game, and
Yeah,
my oldest son, he loves it, and we all really enjoy doing that. Everybody in my house is a gamer. Even my wife has become a gamer now, and it's cool, but she doesn't get into it like me. She can't see putting in 30, 40, 50 hours a week. But when you find that one game or you got your buddies with you, it doesn't seem like 3, 4 hours have gone by.
yeah. I remember those days, man. Back in the good lord, it's been like what, almost 15 years, man.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah. Oh, good lord, it's been that long, huh?
Yep. It has been a while. we
Well, I wanted to thank you for being on the podcast tonight. It means a lot to me. It looks like you're jerking off right now, but but
Oh yeah.
no, I I actually wanted to tell everybody that the reason that you got put in prison is because you kept masturbating at Kids R Us, but I think that was too much.
Problem. It's a real disease.
It's a real disease. No, no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not why he was in there. But no, buddy, Chris, I really appreciate the hell out of you for doing this for me. And I love you to death. You know I do. And so I'm gonna end the podcast here. And do you have any last messages or any last words of advice, of some good advice for some young men who are deciding to do something stupid?
Yeah. Be grateful for what you have because you never know lose it, and always be thankful for everything you got because it can be taken away in a blink of an eye. And sometimes it's not just about going to prison; it's about life.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Stay on here. I'm gonna